Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. We've got a really fun build. We've got an original Sweet 16 custom Dorado. Now, I remember having a few of these cars when I was a kid, but you wouldn't think that an Dorado was a really cool car to have. But I'll tell you what, it had a huge engine in the car, and that made up for the fact that it was a luxury car. We're going to take this car apart and we're going to change the color, but we're going to restore this car to better than new condition. We'll go through and we'll polish it up. Like I said, we'll change the color, we'll replace the tires, and we'll replace the glass later on. But go ahead and grab yourself your favorite adult beverage, and if you don't drink, grab a soda or a Pepsi or a Coke or a cup of coffee, and sit around and relax and enjoy with today's build. Let's go ahead and do the autopsy. I've already got the post drilled out. Now there's a post in the front and in the back. Now again, being an original Sweet 16 car, the posts on these cars are incredibly narrow. The hood on this car is in good condition, so that's a plus right there. And like I said, the posts are incredibly narrow, so you're going to have to use a 1/16 drill bit along with the 1-72 screws. The base it needs repairs, okay? The axles are kind of flopping around there. We're definitely going to have to change the tires, but we'll get it polished up as best we could. There's a lot of toning in the base. Here's the windshield. Now the back, there's a crack in there, so I didn't have the replacement windshield when I was doing the build, but I went ahead later and replaced it. Now the interior is in pretty good shape, so we'll go ahead and get that cleaned up with a toothbrush and some hot soapy water, and we'll reuse that. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's get the body in the embalming fluid. Now, since we're going to do a color change in this car, we want to make sure that we get that citrus strip inside and outside the car. You may want to take a brush and brush it up in the fender wells, etc., to make sure that you get all the paint. We got it out of the citrus strip and we scrubbed it up with Zep degreaser. Now we're going to go ahead and hit it with the flitz. Now, try not to put too much on there. This is a great product, and if you put too much, all you're going to do is waste it. Now, I spread it around as best as I can, but here I put a little bit too much. This is looking great. Excellent. Let's get in there with a buffing pad and we'll buff this body up to a really high shine. Now, in the comments, there is a link to go to for the Flitz website that says Uncle Paulie. Now, if you go to that website and you shop, go into that link, you can get 20% off of any Flitz product on their website, but you have to use that link that's in the comments section. Plus, at the end of the transaction, use the code word graveyard. If you do this, like I said, you'll get 20% off of all Flitz products. And that is a special offer from the nice people at Flitz, specifically for people who watch Diecast Graveyard videos. This is absolutely fantastic. The product works good. Don't be afraid to change out that bonnet. Now, usually a bonnet lasts 2 to 3 cars, but we can... like I said, sometimes they get gummed up and you have to replace them. Now, in my Amazon Marketplace page, I usually buy these polishing bonnets by the 100. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. Now, like I've said in the past, folks, I know that on all my videos I say, hey, go here, check that out, check this out. But somebody may be watching these videos for the first time. And I also want to remind you that these are the products that I'm using when I go to do the restorations and customizations of my cars. And I want you to have the same opportunity. Now, when it comes to using these products and stuff like that, I don't really make anything at all. But I want you to have the same opportunity that I do, and a lot of my colleagues do, that have these YouTube channels, like Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, Don over at Diecast Pirate, Kuda over at Kuda's Diecast Customs, check out Opa with Opa's Restorations. I mean, he does some really, really nice work. Check him out. And like I said, let's continue on with that. John Sellers, Jim Silva, Lee at Time Riders Wee Little Cars, Paul at Fat Guy Productions, George Hodges at Hodges Hot Wheels, and I can go on and on. Scott at Southpaw Diecast. My gosh, like I said, Brian over at Diecast Outcast, Xavier at Diecast Show Customs, and I've got a lot more friends, and I'll be bringing more attention to them in upcoming videos. So please check out the folks I just mentioned, and if you don't subscribe to them, please do, because they put out a lot of great content. And who knows, you may be running into an idea or something like that, and these folks might verify it for you. But please check them out. Anyways, we're about done here with the Flitz. What a great product. Let's get this wiped down, scrubbed down with Zep degreaser, and we will continue on with the build. Let's get on to painting. Alright, we got the car all cleaned up. Now, by customer request, we're going to repaint this car hot pink. Now, this is a color that is a little bit touchy when it comes to doing it. You've got to put down very light coats, and you've got to let it get tacked up in between. If you spray down too much of a light color like this hot pink or antifreeze or something like that, you're going to get runs. But if you listen to what I'm telling you here and follow the manufacturer's directions at the Redline shop, this is where I get all my Spectre Flame paints. But put a nice light mist coat down or a tack coat. Let it dry up for about 10 or 15 minutes. Now, once you get these paints mixed up, they're good for approximately 2 hours before you really can't use them again. But once we get a few coats of this beautiful color down, this is going to look stunning. Let's move on.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
We're going to let that paint set up for about 24 hours. Now, before I got my replacement windshield to put in the car, all I had was the one with the crack in it. So I was going through all the steps and procedures that I normally would to make these windshields look fantastic. So here I dipped it in the Pledge Revive. I wicked away the excess by touching it to a paper towel and getting that excess fluid away, and then letting it dry. Okay, now we're going to paint the vinyl top. I've got the whole car taped off, and we're going to use the black vinyl paint also from the Redline shop. Now, I love this paint, and if this is what you're going to do to paint engine bays, rooftops, etc., this is the paint you definitely want to use. Put down a very, very light coat. Don't lay it on really thick. But this paint here, folks, you can use directly out of the bottle. You don't mix any hardener or activator with it, and you definitely don't clear coat it. Just follow the directions on the bottle, and you'll be good to go. But as soon as you're done painting this, go ahead and get that tape off. Alright, let's go ahead and do the wheel swap. Now, like I said, the base was a little bit toned up. In the wheels, I was having a little bit of a hard time getting them off because the axles were pretty sloppy. So I try and save them when I can, but if I can't, I go ahead and cut them off. And I got these little snippers here at Harbor Freight. They were like $2 or something like that. But I went ahead and cut these wheels off, and we're going to put replacement wheels on there again from the Redline shop. Now, there's a few folks out there that sell the wheels and sell the paint and stuff like that. But I've been dealing with the Redline shop for years, and it's definitely a great place to go to get your replacement parts to restore your Redline collection. Now, the other paints, or the paints that I use, the Spectre Flame paint, etc., you can also use those on the mainline cars that you get from Walmart and stuff like that. So think about that if you're going to want to do a custom. Check out what John has to offer at the Redline shop. Having a little bit of a hard time getting his tire on there. That axle in the back is pretty sloppy. I may have to put a touch of super glue on there to get it to hold fast. Let's go ahead and use the wheel tool. Put it between the bearing, the wire, and the body, and push it on with your thumb. This will definitely make sure that the tire is seated on the bearing. Now, straighten them out if you have to get your car to go straight. Yep, we'll still have to bend the tires a little bit to make sure they go straight, but other than that, that part's done. Let's go ahead and see what we got with the rest of the car. Alright, here's all the parts, folks. Here's the body. Look at that beautiful hot pink paint job. That looks fantastic. The black roof on top with that black vinyl paint. Here's the body, the base with brand new wheels on there. Here's the interior all cleaned up, and here's the windshield. Now, like I said, I went back in after the video and replaced the windshield. Let's go ahead and put it all together and have our reveal. And here's what we started with. This antifreeze color, I believe. Custom El Dorado, one of the original Sweet 16 cars. Now, this car was in pretty rough shape, but we took it apart, we evaluated what we had, we cleaned up everything we had, we polished the body, we polished the base. Later on, like I said, we replaced the glass. We repainted the roof black with that black vinyl paint, put brand new wheels on there, polished it up with that wonderful Flitz product, and it just turned out fantastic, folks. And here's what we got too. Look how nice this car turned out. My friend Zach is going to absolutely love this car. Now, Zach gets a lot of cars redone by me and restored or whatever. Now, if you have any cars you want to restore, get a hold of me in the comments, because I read everything and I answer everything I possibly can. Now, like I said, you can do this yourself. I mean, that's why I tell you where I get all the products from, and I show you the steps and how we do everything. Now, I got a lot more videos coming out and a lot more customs to come. We've got the 4 Horsemen builds coming up with the brand new Horseman, Brian from Diecast, Outcast. And we got a lot of stuff coming up, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. This custom, El Dorado, doing a restoration on this was a lot of fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I want to share something really cool with you. I got a package in the mail the other day from Asko Septinen, and I know that I'm butchering that name, but he sent me a package all the way from Finland, from Iso-Koryo, Finland, and it really got me in the feelers, folks. Now, his son, he sent me a car too, but Asko sent me that AMX Javelin. He turned into a red line. And like I said, I love it. That's going in my collection, and it got me right in the feelers. Now, thank you for joining me here today. My name is Paul, and again, that package from Finland really knocked me on my keister. If you got a bunch of cars you want to send me, just leave a comment in the comments, and I'll get back a hold of you, but I'll do an unboxing video. Thank you so much for everything. My name is Paul with Diecast Graveyard. Thank you, and cheers.